Hey guys, ArkhIce here, and today I am going to be making a tier list of every single unit in the game. Now, keep in mind, some of these units. I'm going to do a few discussions here. Number one, it's been sometimes for those of these units, it's been a long time since I've used them, so there may be a few things I'm missing. Two, this is my opinion. Don't follow this indefinitely, but this is my opinion based on how I use them. Three, this is going to be a very long video. Probably, I'm guessing upwards 20 to 30 to 40 minutes. Legitimately, I'm going to legitimately own video rank every last unit where I think they should go. And yeah. If there isn't a controversial, ones that I think people would consider controversial, I will explain. Also, like the newer units like Arthur, I will explain why I put him there. And yeah. Before we jump in this video, before we get started in this very long ranking, make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit that notification bell, you get notified when I upload. Now, I have no idea when this is going to go up. I legitimately don't. Because I'm here on my computer, and I was going to record a video for the giveaway I'm doing for subscribers and everything, and I thought I said it at midnight, but it's ending at 1 a.m. and I was like, okay, I can't really record a video until, you know, the giveaway's over. I can announce in a video whoever won and everything, so just in case that person doesn't see on their Twitter, they can see in the video that they won and everything, right? Maybe. I don't know. I have to make sure it doesn't show any personal information. I have to make sure that happens first before I do that. So yeah. So just keep in mind it's a very long video and everything, so let's get started. We're probably just gonna... I wish this was in order. I really wish this was in order. Okay, we're gonna go in order for how they are in here, right? Red Escanor, right? Now, okay. I am gonna rate them based off overall use, right? And up to the current day meta, not where they were or how they were, but up to the current day meta, right? Okay. So we have Red Escanor, right? I'm putting him in A tier. Solid unit. I don't think, I really need an explanation for why I'm putting him there. We all know what he does, we know how good he is, but we all know that with the current meta, he deteriorated very, very much so. Green Demon Meliodas, he's going to go in S tier. This is one of the ones I will explain. For Belmos, there is a Green Demon Meliodas strat that works wonders for Belmos and makes Extreme into Hell so easy if at least one person has a 4 out of 6 or higher Green Demon Meliodas. So he just makes Extreme in Hell easy, right? So he's like, obviously, he's amazing. He's going there. I'm only putting Escanor in A tier. People are like, well, why are you putting Escanor in A tier when you put Green Demon Meliodas in S tier for the demon and everything? That's just because there are so many other options for Crimson that it doesn't particularly matter, and he's also not the best option for Crimson. In my personal experience and noting, he's not the best option for Crimson. He's, quite honestly, right now, I think he's on the lower end of options. I think he's on the bottom tier of the DPS units you could bring for Crimson, right? She's gonna go down here. She practically has no use in the game, but she's still better than some other units, right? I'm gonna put New Year's Jericho in A tier. Alaska, I'm gonna put in... Oh, this is tough. Right? This is tough. I think for the fact of her use in Tower, her use in Final Boss Escanor, and the fact for the Assault Meliodas team, I'm gonna put her in SS tier, right? I think because of those three factors, she deserves to be at least bottom SS tier, right? Also, the only thing I'm gonna actually legitimately rank in order, as you see in here, is God tier. God tier is the only one I'm legitimately going to attempt the rank in specific order from 1 to whatever I else have in God tier. Red King, he legitimately has no use. He doesn't. He has zero use. He doesn't have use in PvE, PvP. He's just a useless unit. I'm putting him in C tier. In fact, I'm going to put New Year's Elizabeth in C tier. I also think she has no use. Red Gallant, I'm going to put him in A tier. B tier. He's insanely good for Crimson for a backline unit to help out boost your red units and up and everything, right? We have Blue Aaron. Blue Aaron has some use, though his use is dependent if the Hawk Boss comes back or not, and it's very, very easy to beat the Hawk Boss without him. It's insanely easy with the units we have. He's also a limited unit that will never, more than likely, ever come back. So yeah, he's going there. Green Aaron has no use. Levi also has no use, even PvP. Blue Fighter DM. Yeah, she's gonna go here. I'm gonna put all the AOT units there. I'm sorry, they're bad. Red Esterosa. Okay, before Fez Elders came out, I would put it Red Esterosa probably here or here, one of these two, right? But because of Fez Elders, I'm gonna put him in A tier because he has a potential to be used in PvP with the Fez Elders team and a debuff team. He can be used and be made to legitimately work and actually be good in PvP. It's just some work needs to be put into him, and you have Fez Elders for the work. Green Esterosa, S tier. Easy S tier. He's on, currently, one of the meta teams currently is the Stance team, right? It involves Chandler, Tarmiel, Green Gother, and then Esterosa at the back. And of course, also on the Asmelly team, you can also use Esterosa in the back, because on the main Asmelly team, you would use Chandler. So he's just an insanely good unit. I'm putting him in S tier. He has a lot of vitality as a back unit, and he's really good when it comes out to the front, right? He also is, can be really, well, global, right? Not JP anymore. Global, he is really, really good for, the tower, the old tower, you know, because we're getting on tower runs and stuff. And of course, for Belmos, he's insanely good for Belmos. So I'm gonna put him in S tier, right? Because he has a lot of use. Actually, I'm gonna put him in SS tier. Because of all his different, no, S tier. No, S tier. Because he has multiple different uses, both PvP and PvE. In the current meta, plus the different uses in PvE, both global and JP. He's insanely good for the extremely hard demon. So yeah. Green Spawn Speed, I'm gonna put him in A tier. Darieri goes in S tier, because I legitimately think she is the best, or second best, it can be argued, for Crimson Demon. She is really good for final bosses. She is really good for guild boss. She's just good for a variety of events, right? A lot of PV events, she's the best to get scores for. Green Darieri, gonna go in the same tier as Monspeed and Red Esterosa. Lost Vein. Lost Vein is S tier. Insanely good for farming. And he's insanely good for the new tower trials that we have, that we got like a month and a half ago. He's insanely good for that. He's insanely good for farming, you know. So yeah, he's a really good unit. And he can still be used in PvP, but more than likely he's not going to survive that much. Blue Arthur practically has no use in the game. He can be used in Red Demon, but other than that, he has like no use at all. Because it is SR. SR is blue as well, right? Yeah, okay, so it's SR Arthur that's used upon a boss, not Blue Arthur. Okay. Red Mono. I honestly have no idea, because I have no idea how she performs with Fez King with the buff she got on Global, and also now JP. So, she's one I'm unsure about, but I'm going to put her B tier from the knowledge of what I know of her, and how I've seen her play. Blue Easton goes A tier. She's really good at Guild Boss, can be really good in Final Boss, you know. Not much use in PvP anymore, but in PvE events where she'll shine, right? This is Bond, right? This is Snatch Bond. This is Brawler Bond. I'm going to put Brawler Bond in A tier. He has his use in Final Boss. No. I'll put him B tier. No. Okay, I'll put him in A tier for the reason of he can be used really well in Hell Red Demon, but there are other options that are better for him, right? Fraugen. In all honesty, yeah, I'm gonna put my boy Fraugen C tier. Red Elaine. She's also garbage. She has no use in the game. Jinna, I'm gonna put B tier. Say Zenari, I'm gonna put in C tier. Blue Zeldris, I'm gonna put in A tier. It's like Red Esterosa, no, Eskener, right? Like, he is insanely good but in the current meta, what he does is already outperformed by other units, especially in the blue category, because Zeldris is just a big critting DPS unit. But he's very much outperformed by his counterpart, who came out and replaced him as the big blue DPS unit, the one Escanor. He's also outperformed by other big DPS units. For instance, Lolly Merlin, right? Asmeli also outperforms him. And if you're gonna run a Zeldris, there's all Fest Zeldris and Blues and Red Zeldris that are better than him. So it's like in the current meta, he just doesn't run very well, right? So yeah. Red Zeldris, I'm gonna put in S tier. No, SS tier. He's insanely good as a backline unit for PvP. He's insanely good as a backline unit for tower. He's insanely good as for guild boss. He's also used on a couple final bosses he's insanely good on. He has a lot of different practical use in the game, both PvE and PvP, that I think he should deserve SS tier. Red Glocks, I'm going to put in A tier. Zaratros. Normally, Zaratros for me would go in A tier, right? But because you know, he's really good in final boss. But because of Belmos, I got to put him in S tier. I think he's insanely good for Belmos. He really is legitimately one of the best damage dealers. And then of course he's final boss Dan, I'm pretty sure it is, that he's insanely good for. He's one of the best units for. So yeah, he goes there. Green Shin. I'm gonna put Green Shin in A tier. I was thinking before the new Arthur came out, right? The new Arthur. I would think Shin would be B tier, but top of B tier, but I think he borderlines bottom of A tier with the new Arthur, because there is a team with him and Arthur that is pretty good, right? So yeah, Red Roxy. Honestly, go to C tier. The Fat Kings have one use and one use only, and that use is specifically for box CC, because all the Fat Kings have legitimately really high CC. So the Fat Kings, I'm gonna put every single Fat King in B tier when I find them. Athena, she's a pretty good back unit. Kyo, I'm gonna go to the top of A tier. I'm just gonna put her here. I mean, okay, I said I'm not organizing them like that, but that's where I'm gonna put her. Riggle, he's good for guild boss, but other than that, he doesn't have much practical use in PvP anymore. But because of his use in guild boss, and for getting guild boss is really a good way to get a lot of like materials you need and everything, and he just makes it easy if you have him on Akuma, I think his name is Akuma. So put him there. Green Gunther, God tier, easy, right? There ain't nothing I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put him straight in God tier. No one's gonna question Green Gunther being in God tier. Matrona, for the final boss that she does, I'm gonna put her in A tier. Though I don't think Twigo's ever gonna come back. Though they might. Camilla. I don't know of... Never mind. A tier. I was gonna say I don't know any practical use for her, but then you have to remember that the new guild boss that hasn't come out on Global yet, but has come on JP, that were Giants, Unknown, and Fairy units are the only units that don't take like 500% extra damage from them. So you have to use one of those three races to complete it. Camilla is legitimately one of the best teams for it, right? She legitimately is. So she's gonna go in bottom A tier for me. Goddess Liz. In all honesty, I'm gonna put Goddess Liz in a God tier. She's an annoying unit, but I think she does a big God tier. Hawk. A tier. Red Deanne, normally I would put B tier. Because Red Deanne, you know, she's a really good backline unit for the Giants and everything, and she can work in PvP, but she has no practical use for it anymore. But her passive is just insanely good as a Giants tier support and everything. And of course, with the guild boss that I just mentioned for Camilla, she's insanely good. So I think she deserves to be an A tier as well, right? Green Helper, I'm gonna put an A tier. He's insanely good for Balmos. Along with Green Gale Thunder, he's insanely good for Grey Demon. So honestly, and also he can still be used on Guild Boss and everything. So, and also a couple final bosses he's used on. So I'm gonna put him in A tier. I think he deserves A tier, honestly. Hawk and Oslo. I think Hawk and Oslo is an insanely good PvP unit. But that's the only use they have. And they're very much an exclusive unit that you haven't seen at all, because you've only seen them once on Global, they never came back. You've seen them once on JP, they've never came back. I think they're insanely good. I'm gonna put them in A tier. They're not S tier worthy, but I think they're A tier worthy, right? I'm gonna put Blue Frog in S tier. Really good for the Camilla boss. He's really good for 3v3s. He's insanely good for, what is it? I think there's a final boss is good at it too, unless I'm misremembering. I am misremembering. No, it's not final boss. It's just the normal bosses in the game. Oh, and he can be used in tower, right? So I think he deserves S tier for all his practical uses and everything, right? I'm putting the drills immediately in not S tier. I meant not S tier. I meant S tier. Bellion just goes C tier. Luduciel. I think Luduciel is an S tier unit. Before all these big like stat updates are coming out, I would probably put Luduciel in SS tier. But I think he moves a tier down from SS to S because compared to the other meta units, right? Luduciel versus them when it comes to getting their stat boost and CC boost has been getting worse stat boost and CC boost than everyone else when it comes to like the big like meta units, right? And for a unit that needs to, you know, out CC other people, that hurts him. So I'm putting him in S tier because he's still a insanely good unit, but he's been hurt by the latest buffs to stats, right? Gerharde, B tier. She has her uses in final bosses and everything, so I think she should just go in B tier and everything. Not C tier worthy. She didn't have any use in final boss, she'd be C tier. But because there's a few final bosses, she's good in, no, B tier is really she deserves, right? Yeah, no, get at the bottom there. I'm gonna put Fez King in A tier. Honestly, Fez King, he's not meta, but he's still an insanely good unit, and he's on one of the best farming teams in the game. For like SA Dungeon, Anvil Dungeon, there's a farming team that includes Fez King that is insanely good and gets it done really fast, all 12 tries. So yeah, I'm gonna put him there. Green Hendrickson also deserves top of A tier. He's just insanely good at a bunch of PvP teams. He's insanely good. That's for his spell and practical uses. But yeah, he's insanely good in a bunch of like debuff teams and stuff, right? I'm sorry, Josh, if you watch this, but he's gonna go down here. Lilia also has no honestly practical use in the game. Well, no, she's good on Fez King's team. I'm gonna put her in B tier. I'm putting Sargon on God tier. Tarmiel, I'm putting him in SS tier. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna straight put her down there. I'm not even gonna attempt. Nah, just go down there. Red Chin, I'm gonna say is A tier. Green Roxy, I'm gonna say is S tier. Red Jericho, I'm gonna say is S tier. The one Eskener is obviously God tier. Green Arthur is SS tier for his PvE value. Nanashi is S tier for his, you know, his backline capabilities and stuff, and his also PvE capabilities with the OC raid bosses. Red Guild Thunder I think has no use in the game at all. Blue Mono is insanely good for final boss Escanor. She can also be used for final boss Spawn. Valenti makes final boss Spawn insanely easy, especially these two, especially with the new final boss reworks. They're going to be insanely good for the upcoming final boss reworks, right? Because, you know, with the new Legends mode and everything, and how strong they're going to become, they're practically going to be needed to actually legitimately complete it. So yeah, Green Easton I think is bottom of A tier. Danafor Liz, absolutely garbage in PvP, but in Hell Grey Demon she is insanely good for finishing out Grey Demon in like 3 turns. So I'm putting bottom right tier, right? Blue Jerry, I'm putting her S tier. I'm being honest. She's a good Red Demon unit. She is a insanely good PvP unit. I think she deserves S tier. Silverius, I'm gonna put S. No, wait. With all the buffs and something like this, I'm putting him in SS tier. Red Easton could be in B tier. Mark II Valenti, I'm gonna put in A tier. The same with him, right? Merlin, I gotta put in God tier. Merlin is just legitimately a God tier unit. Slater's gonna go in A tier for me. You're going to go down here. I'm not even gonna touch you. Milia's going to go in S tier, right? So is Rim. Ram, I'm gonna put in SS tier for the support she gives to unknown units. Beatrice is going down here. 11, honestly, I'm gonna put in S tier. That's where I'm gonna put the strange thing units. I'm gonna put you two down here in B tier. You two down here, up here in S tier, right? Gem is insanely good with the collab units. 11 doesn't need to be explained. We already seen what she does and how she does it. These two, we've seen they're absolutely garbage. They have no use at all. Fest Elders, all honesty, S tier. Like, everyone wanted to say he's really bad, but Fast Elders is legitimately a really, really good unit. He's good on multiple different PvP teams that involve debuffs. He's good. He can be used in the back of an ass melee team. He's one of the good backline choices and everything, right? Yeah, he's just in a really good unit. Deanne can be a good auto unit. I'm gonna put her in B tier. Chandler, I think, honestly deserves SS tier. His practical use in Red Demon and his insane amount of use in PvP just makes him SS tier viable for me, right? Bond, I'm gonna put in B tier. Green King, A tier. You know, he's really, really good on. He's one of the main damage dealers for Grey Demon. So yeah. Red Demon Meliodas, honestly, is probably the third, in my opinion, the third best choice for Crimson Demon for DPS, with the fourth best being Escanor, second best being Rim, and number one being Red Derriere. Alioni, I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to Alioni, I'm gonna put him in A tier because of his passive, increasing green units' attack-related stats. Bon, Kane, Gother, Dreyfus. She's can be a really good auto unit, and she can be really good for Red Demon if you don't have the other units. Gilead, in my knowledge, has no use in the game. Same with Phrygia. Green Go Thunder, I'm gonna put him up here in A tier. Blue Go Thunder goes in A tier. Blue Greenmore, I think personally should go in A tier as well. Red Gother, I also think is God tier. I think both Gothers are. Red Greenmore should go here. Blue Gilead, I'm gonna put her down here. Wait, hold on. I may be thinking of something else she does. Hold on. Let me confirm what Blue Gilead does. Okay, yeah, she's garbage. She's going down C tier. What does Golgius do? Oh, I've never looked at Golgius' kit before. Oh, I have never looked at his kit. Okay, for that specifically, I'm gonna put him with Kane. Because Kane's put in here because of his passive and everything, and it's like King's passive, right? Like I said, all the Fat Kings are gonna B tier. Red Jericho's going up here. She's an A tier unit. C tier. What do the SR Housers do? I've legitimately never looked at the SR Housers. Okay. Yeah, no, these are just garbage units. They're garbage. They're going in C tier. Hugo, I think I know what he does, but I want to confirm. Okay, that's what I thought he did. My monster's been in C tier because of that. Blue Jericho also goes up here. Julian goes up here. Jude, I'm gonna put him in B tier. Jude is insanely good. He's on the absolute best team for Final Boss Escanor for scoring. Marmus, you know, I'm gonna put him with the rest of the stats boosted units in A tier. Yeah, no, just get out of here. Oops. I'm gonna put Merlin in S tier. Green Merlin, I think, deserves S tier. He can have some use in PvP. A small amount of use, not much at all. I've used Ruin in PvP. I've used Ruin in death matches. I think he has use in both. I'll put him in B tier because of that. Simon, I think legitimately had. Well, no, I would put him up here. Because Simon, if you didn't know exactly what Simon does, he increases your damage PvP. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna put him in B tier because he can have a small amount of use in PvP. Not much at all. I think Red Slay deserves A tier. Twigo also. Why is there two Twigo? Oh, there's two Twigos here. Interesting. What does Taizo do? I have never took a look at. Okay, yeah, I spelled it right. Taizo. Okay, because of the same reason as Simon, I guess I'll put him there. Weinhardt has no use. Red DN has some use. She can be good in Tower for King. But other than that, she practically has no use. Red DN, I think I'm gonna put in A tier. Green Snatch Bond has really no use at all. He can be used, but at the same time, there's just better units. I'll put her up there. Green Liz is going to go in A tier. She's insanely good. Red Merlin's also going to go in A tier. Helbram, I'm gonna say is in B tier. Hendrickson, I'm pretty sure Green Hendrickson was used in a final boss. I don't remember which, but I remember correctly, he was used in a final boss. I think it was it was the Gilthin Grimoire boss, I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. You're gonna go here. You are gonna go in A tier. They're also gonna go in A tier. They're a really good Amplify unit, right? Rimuru. See, the thing about Rimuru is, currently, I think Rimuru is in bottom of B tier, but there's rumored to be stat changes coming to the slime units, so the slime units could technically get much, much better. But we'll just have to see and everything, right? You see exactly what happens to them. Alright. Green Lily also bottom B tier. Green Elaine has some use in some final bosses and everything. Like, recently we got Final Boss King, and she was used in the Final Boss King team, right? Final Boss King rerun. Red Arthur has some amazing use. I'll put him up here. Blue Galland, I also think is really good. So, he has some use in final bosses and everything. She's pretty garbage. No, I'm gonna put her in B tier because her passive is honestly really good. Her passive is kind of like, she's like Fraugen, right? To where instead of filling everyone's ult gauge by max, she removes everyone's debuffs, fully fills her health, and then fills her ult gauge, right? So she's really good for her passive. Honestly, I'm gonna put her in A tier. I think she deserves A tier and everything, you know? Bond is pretty garbage. Green Escanor, I'm gonna put in A tier. I think he's pretty good. Jericho is also an A tier unit. A tier, I would say, is average. B tier is below average, and C tier is like completely garbage. And of course, S tier is above average, really above average, and just, you know, God tier, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put her in S tier. She deserves it. I think Vivian has no practical use in the game. Same with Halloween Meliodas, and this Elaine, and this Hylia. Lilia, I think deserves A tier. Monspeed, I would have to put Monspeed in A tier as well. DM Meliodas, I'm gonna put in A tier. Dogetto, you're going down here. Death Pierce is also an A tier unit. King is an A tier unit. He used to be S tier, but because there's not really cleanse meta currently, cleanse meta is basically dead. I think he deserves A tier instead. Fat King, go here with your two other brothers. Lascala honestly has no practical use in the game. She can be used in PvP, but there are better units to use when it comes to demon units. So B tier it is for her. Garbage. I'm gonna put her there. Gloxinia, I'm gonna say the same as Blue Molluscula. Valenti, I'm gonna put an A tier. Delgy's garbage. Arden's garbage. Green Giant Deanne can be an insane auto-win unit, but other than that, she doesn't have much use in the game. Put her B tier. This Bond's gonna go in A tier. He's legitimately one of the second best DPS unit for Red Demon, with number 1, of course, being the 1 Escanor. Elliot is really good for Guild Boss. Green Counter Meliodas is honestly, he used to be B tier for me, but once Belmonts came out, he is A tier. He's insanely good. Arthur. I want to legitimately put Arthur somewhere. I think Arthur is bottoming S tier, borderline bottom S tier to high A tier. I think that right now, he's the top of A tier for his passive and his taunt card. Beatrice down here. Wait, is there multiple Amelias here? There is. What? Okay, I did not notice that. Hold on, let me move this. Yeah, so this is probably where I'm going to put my tier list, right? I don't think I'm going to change, doing like a double check at it. I don't think I'm going to change anyone around. Well, no, I'm putting Milim down here. Honestly, I'm putting Milim down there. Other than that, yeah, I think that is where I would legitimately put everyone. No, wait, hold on, I gotta rearrange these. I'm gonna put you here. I'm gonna put you here. You here. This, okay, I think this is how I'm gonna put them, right? This is how I would rate God tier. This is the order I would legitimately put God tier in, right? With Green Gother being number 1, Red Gother being number 2, Lawlimer number 3, Liz 4, Sario 5, Escanor 6. These are the 6 units I'm going to put in God tier. SS isn't ranked, S isn't, none of these are ranked, right? So yeah, this is my tier list, my Grand Cross tier list currently. It probably will, I may update this every month, I don't know, it may depend. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next video. Bye bye!